We want to start today with a scenario, and we want you to really picture this as we describe it.
Two friends, same age, grew up in the same neighborhood, went to the same college, graduated the same year, both got jobs paying the same salary, let's say $55,000 a year to start. Same starting point in every way that matters.
Fast forward 10 years. One of them owns a home, has a six-figure investment account, takes 2 real vacations a year, doesn't stress when the car needs repairs, doesn't check their bank account before saying yes to dinner.
The other one is still living paycheck to paycheck, has almost nothing saved, carries credit card debt that never seems to go away no matter how many times they swear they're going to pay it off, feels behind, feels like money is something that happens to other people.
Same income, 10 years, completely different financial lives.
And the question everyone wants to ask but nobody wants to say out loud is why? What actually separates those two people?
Because the easy answer is one of them got lucky. Maybe they got an inheritance. Maybe they married someone with money. Maybe they got some big promotion that the other one didn't.
And sometimes that's true. We're not going to pretend luck and circumstance don't play a role. They absolutely do.
But that's not the whole story. Because there are people who got every advantage and still ended up broke. And there are people who got no advantages and still built something real. And when you look closely at both groups, you start to see patterns, consistent, repeatable patterns that show up again and again.
And that's what today is about. Not judgment, not broke people are irresponsible and wealthy people are disciplined. It's more nuanced than that. It's about habits, decisions, mental frameworks, the invisible daily choices that compound over 10 years into completely different financial realities.
So let's walk through them one by one. And as we go, we want you to honestly ask yourself which column you're in for each one. Because most people are a mix. Most people have some broke habits and some wealthy habits. And knowing which is the first step to changing anything.
Let's start with the most fundamental one, the one that everything else flows from.
How each person thinks about money when they first get paid.
So the broke friend gets their paycheck. It hits the account. And the mental calculation that happens, consciously or not, is, okay, what do I need to pay this month? And whatever is left, I'll try to save.
Save what's left. That's the frame. And it sounds completely reasonable, responsible even. Take care of your obligations first, save what remains.
The problem is that what remains is almost always nothing, because spending expands to fill available income every single time. It's not a willpower problem, it's just how humans work. If the money is there, it gets used.
The wealthy friend operates from a completely different frame. The paycheck hits, and before anything else happens, before the bills, before the groceries, before the weekend plans, a fixed percentage moves automatically to savings and investments.
They pay themselves first. The savings isn't what's left over. The savings comes out first, and then they live on what remains.
And here's the thing. Both people feel a budget constraint. The broke friend feels constrained because they never have enough left to save. The wealthy friend feels constrained because they've already moved their savings and now have to live on less.
But only one of those constraints is building something.
And because the wealthy friend automates it, they never feel the money leave. It moves before they can spend it, before it even registers as available. And within a few months, they've adjusted their lifestyle to what's left, and they don't miss the rest.
That single habit, the order in which money gets allocated, explains more of the gap between those two friends than almost anything else over a 10-year period.
Okay, second habit. And this one is really about how each person relates to the things they buy.
The broke friend buys things to feel good right now. And again, not as a moral judgment, as a completely understandable human response. When money is tight and stressful, spending can feel like relief. It's a reward. It's a small moment of control and pleasure in a life that might not have a lot of those moments.
That $30 dinner out, the new shoes, the upgraded phone. These things feel good, and they should feel good. That's not an accident. They're designed to feel good.
But there's a version of this that goes beyond enjoyment and into something more like emotional spending, buying things to manage feelings rather than because you actually want or need them.
The wealthy friend isn't immune to this. They want things too. They have impulses too. But somewhere along the way, they developed a pause, a gap between wanting something and buying something.
Even something as simple as the 30-day rule. If you want something that costs more than a certain amount, you wait 30 days before buying it. If you still want it after 30 days, great. Maybe it's a real want. If you've forgotten about it, you just saved yourself that money.
Because most impulse purchases are forgotten within a week. The thing that felt urgent and necessary on a Tuesday afternoon is completely irrelevant by the following Tuesday.
And the wealthy friend has internalized something that sounds simple but is actually profound. The difference between spending money on something and spending money on something that spends money.
Say that again because that's important.
The difference between spending money on something, a dinner, a concert, a vacation, and spending money on something that then continues to spend money. A car payment, a subscription you forget about, a house that's too big for your needs, the thing you bought that now requires maintenance and insurance and upgrades.
The broke friend often spends money on things that then cost more money, and the costs compound in the same way that investments compound, just in the wrong direction.
Third habit, and this is a big one, how each person thinks about and uses credit.
The broke friend treats credit as an extension of income. When the card is available, it feels like money. It spends like money. The bill doesn't arrive for 30 days, so the brain doesn't fully register it as real.
And so the credit card fills the gap between what they earn and what they want to spend, month after month, and the balance grows slowly enough that it never triggers a full alarm. It's just always there, a low hum of debt in the background.
At 20% interest or more, which means every month that balance sits there, it's actively working against them. Money they earned is going to the credit card company instead of to their life or their future.
The wealthy friend uses credit too, but they use it as a tool, not a lifeline. They pay the balance in full every month without exception. They get the points, the purchase protection, the fraud coverage, and they pay zero interest because they never carry a balance. To the wealthy friend, a credit card is a 30-day float with rewards attached. To the broke friend, it's a surrogate income stream with a very expensive price tag. And the gap that creates over 10 years, in interest paid and credit score and borrowing costs when they eventually need a car loan or a mortgage, is enormous. Fourth habit, how each person responds to a financial windfall. So both friends get a tax refund, same amount, let's say $1,500. The broke friend feels like they won something, because in their mental accounting, that money wasn't expected. It's bonus money, it's free money, and free money gets spent differently than regular money. It goes to something they've been wanting, or it covers the debt that's been stressing them out, not by paying it off, but by making one big payment that feels good and then slowly recreating the debt over the following months. The wealthy friend has a plan for windfalls before they arrive. They've already decided what percentage goes to investments, what goes to debt if they have any, and what, if anything, they allow themselves to enjoy. The decision is made when they're calm and rational, not in the moment when the money lands and everything feels like a reward.
And this extends beyond tax refunds. Bonus at work, gift from a relative, side income from a freelance project. The wealthy friend applies the same rules to every dollar, regardless of its origin. The broke friend applies different rules based on where the money came from.
One of them is building consistently. The other one is building in bursts and losing ground in between. Fifth habit, and this might be the most uncomfortable one to talk about because it gets into social dynamics, how each person handles the financial pressure of their social circle. Because this is real. This is one of the most underrated forces in personal finance. The people around you have an enormous influence on how you spend money. The broke friend tends to say yes to everything. The group dinner at the expensive restaurant, the weekend trip that they can't really afford, the birthday bottle at the bar, the concert tickets, the constant stream of social spending that comes with having an active social life in your 20s and 30s. And the reason they say yes isn't stupidity. It's belonging. It's not wanting to be the person who always has an excuse. It's fear of missing out. It's genuine love for their friends and wanting to share experiences with them. These are real human needs.
But the cost is real too, and it's recurring, and it's invisible because it just gets absorbed into, that's just what life costs.
The wealthy friend has learned, sometimes painfully, to be honest about money, not to broadcast their financial situation to everyone, but to say, that's not in my budget right now, without shame and without a long explanation.
They've also learned to suggest alternatives. Instead of the expensive dinner, the casual spot. Instead of the full weekend trip, the day version. Instead of the concert, the watch party. They don't opt out of their social life. They just refuse to let their social life be defined by its most expensive version.
And over time, the people in their circle usually respect it, because most people, even the ones who seem to spend freely, are quietly relieved when someone gives them permission to spend less.
Sixth habit, how each person thinks about their income itself.
This is the one that really separates people long-term. The broke friend sees their income as fixed. They earn what they earn. Their job pays what it pays. Financial improvement, if it's going to happen, will happen when something changes externally. A raise, a better job market, a lucky break.
And so they focus almost entirely on the expense side of the equation, which makes sense. It feels like the only lever they can pull. Cut back here, spend less there, The income is what it is.
The wealthy friend sees income as a variable they have some control over. They negotiate their salary instead of accepting the first offer. They develop skills that make them more valuable. They look for ways to add a second or third income stream. They treat their earning potential as something to be actively worked on, not passively received.
And this creates a compounding effect that dwarfs almost everything else. Because if you increase your income by 10% and keep your expenses flat, that entire 10% can go to building wealth. And then if you do it again the following year, and the year after that.
The broke friend who increases their income usually increases their expenses at the same rate. The wealthy friend increases their income and keeps their expenses as flat as possible for as long as possible. Same raise, completely different outcome. Okay, let's bring this home because I think there's something important to say that ties all of this together. Please, none of these habits are about being a different kind of person. They're not personality traits you either have or don't have.